Friends and colleagues Staca Shehan and Melissa Snow discuss common misconceptions they've encountered in their anti-trafficking work and the progress they have seen in the field.
How does your work actually differ from most people's perception of what the anti-trafficking work looks like?
There's this misconception that trafficking happens elsewhere. And I have to explain to them, no, I'm talking about right here in the United States. And I'm not just talking about US kids, I'm talking about US buyers and US traffickers. People have it in their mind that these kids are being rescued from exploitation and it's over. They've been rescued. We can move on. When what we know from talking to kids and teens is that that moment of intervention and recovery doesn't feel like a rescue, that it often feels really scary, really confusing, and sometimes even traumatic. When people believe that it's a rescue, it often maybe even prevents them from thinking about what were the causes that led up to this exploitation.
When the perspective is also that these individuals need rescue, right? It really doesn't honor the skills that the victims have had to cultivate and use daily to survive these unimaginable circumstances. When we are approaching it from a place of you have incredible skills that have allowed you to survive these situations, it's empowering for the survivors. But there's a process of grief and loss that survivors have to go through when they're exiting the life, that not everything was bad, and that's a survival mechanism to hold on to the little moments of hope. Those things you have to be able to talk about as well. What are some of the greatest successes in the anti-trafficking field that you think have been accomplished in the last 20 years?
Many people and professionals in the field were calling it child prostitution. That's a term that's innately victim blaming. One of the most monumental things that really achieved that definition of these kids and adults as victims of crime was the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. You can't attend a trafficking training today for law enforcement, social workers, educators, parents that doesn't start off with that as the foundation.
Yeah. One other area that strikes me too is that science has now proven that your brain changes to adapt for survival. And so now when we introduce safety and connection and love and belonging and all the things that kids should have, it can rewire the brain in a way that can unravel some of that trauma and lead to a more healthy and productive life. I can't even imagine where we'll be in 20 years from now.
Yeah, it's exciting to think.
Well, you've done such incredible work, Staca, and I am honored to know you. I'm honored to be your friend. I'm honored to be your colleague.
I can't thank you enough. We make an incredible team, and I'm so grateful to your dedication to these kids. And it really is empowering to the rest of us to continue doing this work.
These Voices of Freedom were recorded and produced by StoryCorps in partnership with the Office on Trafficking in Persons at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. For more information, visit acf.hhs.gov/otip/voices.